on UTSA social media platforms as well as the Frisco Bowl's media platforms. We'll open it up to questions here in the room first, then we'll go to Zoom. We just ask that you raise your hand virtually via Zoom, unmute yourself, turn on your camera, and again, identify yourself, say and tell us to whom you're addressing the question. And without further ado, we will kick this off with the UTSA portion of our Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl press conference. We have head coach Jeff Traylor, senior quarterback Frank Harris, and of course senior safety Rashad Wisdom. We'll kick it off with Coach Traylor with a few opening statements.
Well, thank y'all for being here today. Appreciate the Frisco Bowl for having us back. It's been a great time for our kids. A lot of respect for the Marshall program and the history of their program, their success in bowl games. It's what we want to be one day. It's our fourth bowl game in a row for us. Only been playing football 12 years. Really excited to be doing it with Frank Harris for the last time and Rashad Wisdom, who have both won the zero for me for 4 straight years, and we vote for those numbers. And that's the most prestigious number on our team. And it's going to be a fun day, a sad day, because I'll miss coaching these 2 kids, and very grateful for what they've done for our program, which I think the history of this place will always look back at the leadership of Frank and Rashad that turned this program around. So thank y'all.
All right, we'll open it up to questions in the room right over here in the front, please.
JJ Perez, Inside Runner Sports. Jeff, along those lines, does it feel like an end of an era, sort of, for the program with these 2 guys playing their last game?
I can see how you would look at it that way, but I don't think it'll end just because of the spirit of these 2 kids and what they've done. They're leaving a legacy that all my young kids have seen it. We had one of our most spirited practices today. You could just tell that these guys want to send these guys out the right way. So I understand the question, but the end of an era makes it seem like it's a finality, and I don't look at it that way. I look at it as just a building block of something that's bigger and better for us to come in the future because of their leadership.
Over here to the right, please.
Greg Lucas, San Antonio Express News. Jeff, we've talked a lot with the players about what it would mean to get their first bowl, and what would that mean for you individually as the coach of the team?
Nothing. It's never about me at all. It's a bunch of nonsense, honestly. It's all about my kids, and those are the ones who do all the work. I got the best job in the world. About 18 seniors come up to me in the last few days and just thank me just for what they've got to experience the last 4 years. And it's those relationships that matter to me. It's these guys trusting me and knowing that they can call me on the telephone anytime in their life, and I'm gonna be there for them. And that's really all I give 2 hoots about. I want to win with my guys. I'm a competitor, but it's not about me in any sense of the imagination.
Another one over here to the right with Jeff.
Do you get a lot of those emotions out of the way in senior day, or is it really coming to hit you this week? This is the last time?
It hits me in moments. I broke it down a while ago talking to them. They're good boys, man. Young men. I mean, I understand they're not boys anymore. I got children older than them, so I see them as kids, right? So, yeah, it's going to be like that. And this is always the worst one because it's the last one, and you know it's the last one. So everything you do, they're tired of hearing me. Like I'm the old grandpa, right? Like they just keep hearing me say, this is the last time you're going to have a mental rep of walkthrough. This is the last time, whatever it is. It is. I do want them to be where their feet are. I want them to enjoy the moment. I don't want them distracted. I don't want them worried about their future. I want them to just be present. And in this new world that we're in, I don't know if any player gets to be exactly where their feet are anymore, just because there's so many people pulling at them at all times for whatever reasons. And I hate that because they worked their tails off to be here. And I want to be present. And I think they've done a really good job of being present this week.
We're going to go over here to the left. Kyle's going to bring the microphone over.
Jacob Richmond, Lone Star Live. For Frank and Rashad, with everything the coach said, has anything hit you guys this week? The fact that tomorrow will be your last game in a UTSA uniforms, or is it just, like you were saying, enjoying being present?
It's been a little bit of both. I'll be honest, we had a team meeting this morning at 7. Coach Traylor started talking about some things about life, and I'm not gonna lie, I started getting emotional a little bit that early, but it's definitely been a fun ride. Definitely have been where my feet are, enjoying the moment, taking it all in. But I'm gonna be honest, tomorrow I'll probably be crying win or loss, so please don't get no pictures of me with my tears. But it's been fun. It's been fun.
Yeah, it's like what he was saying. It really hasn't hit me much yet, but I know tomorrow night, like you said, win or lose, I'll probably have some tears coming down my eyes because it's my last time playing a UTSA uniform, and just been here for so long, and all the struggles that we've been through to have the success we had last couple seasons. It just means a lot, so definitely gonna cherish that moment.
Right over here in the middle, please.
Luke Creasy, HD Media in Huntington. Coach, what have you seen from Marshall on film? Obviously 6-6 and have had some ups and downs. But what do you see from them on film and thoughts heading into tomorrow?
Well, they look like a team coached by Coach Huff. They're tough. They're very athletic. They got to an unbelievable start. Kind of opposite of us. We started off really, I don't want to say poorly. We lost some close games, tough teams early in the season. And y'all got off to a really hot start, and then in the middle, but then y'all rallied out of it. To win 2 out of your last 3 was very impressive to get into a bowl game. And defensively, they lead the country in a lot of statistics, tackles for loss, sacks. They're athletic. Offensively, they've had their moments where they've been, unstoppable. And special teams, the kick returners, somebody you got to be worried about. And just the tradition of being here. Y'all been here so many times. It's where we want to be one day. We want to be talking about us one day of being to 10 out of 11 bowls, 7 in a row. That's pretty cool. And the history of your program, just all the great players, just see them the other day. You look at it and go, man, they've had a lot of great players come to that place. That's all really cool.
Chris Mykowski, Bowl Season Radio. Coach, watching Gilmer the other night, and obviously being here in Frisco and being close, what did it mean to you to watch your successor win that state championship and see the Buckeyes have the success again?
Everything. It was very surreal. It was like 23 years of my life flashed right in front of my eyes. It's what I always wanted to look like. So I was really proud of that. But people also forget I graduated from there too, and I lived there, and my parents taught there. So it's not like it was just me coaching there. I'm still a fanboy. Those guys are my heroes when I was a little kid. So I got a cousin that coaches the line, a nephew coaches the line. They're all my former assistants. Every player on the field, I've either coached their brother, their father, some connection. And I also know the commitment from the administration. Rick Albrecht's been superintendent there the entire time. The commitment he makes to that place cannot be overlooked. Whenever you've got a sustained program for that long, it's always the administration, and it works its way down. So I was really thrilled for all those guys, and it was fun, and they played really well, which makes it even better.
Far right over here in the front row. Get Kyle to get the microphone over there and then fire away.
Stephen Whitaker, birdsup.com. Just for all 3 of you, what has the past couple of days here in Frisco been like, and getting to practice at the Cowboys facility?
I'll start. I just told them I thanked them a while ago. We have nobody ineligible. We had the second highest APR in the history of our school for these kids. We're on pace this year to be higher than we were last year. We just have more of a championship mindset. Like they've been business this week. We started early. You heard him say we had a 7 o'clock team meeting. They've had fun, but we've been more of a business approach. We expect to be here now, and that's just all different. And that's a credit to these guys' leadership, and that's what I've taken from this. I don't know if it's going to be enough to win the game, but we're going to play well just because we practiced well.
Go ahead, Rashad.
I feel like practice has been fun. Kind of like what he said. I feel like we've been pretty locked in this whole week. The guys we're being where we're supposed to be when we're supposed to be there, and really been paying close attention to detail. Just from practice being where running the call is supposed to be running. Playing with good technique, things like that. Just focusing on the small details, and at the same time just having fun with the events. We had the Family Feud. The Madden game was a lot of fun to watch that. And we did bowling yesterday, which is football bowling. And at first I was kind of, taken back. I didn't know what to expect, but it was a lot of fun, honestly. It's just been really cool to just be with our teammates. especially with this being the last time. So, like I said, taking it all in, but it's been a ton of fun this week lead up to the game.
Frank?
I think they kind of answered everything. Just piggyback off of what they both said.
Back over, go start, yeah, in the back.
Hey Frank, this is Jim Tracy from WSAZ in Huntington. What about the Marshall defense really gets your attention? Because it seems from front to back, they've got weapons that you can try to expose, or who do you want to stay away from, that kind of thing. That they're pretty solid, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're really good up front. Their D-line is really well. They like to get to the quarterback a lot for the pass rush. So I think it'll be a great test for us offensively. We got to go out there, not beat ourselves, don't make any mistakes on our own. Make sure we ID the right people, and just go with our game plan and go out there and play football. Like Coach said, they're a great football team. They have a great defense, and we can't go out there and turn the ball over and make mistakes.
Back over here to the right, please.
For Frank, you just heard Rashad was talking about the heightened focus and the attention to detail this week. Is it any different for you going through this bowl process, knowing it's your last chance to try to get that first bowl win for the program?
I mean, it's everybody's, first bowl game if we win. It's not just, mine personally. Of course, I want to win it, but of course my teammates want to win it as well. It'll be the first in school history, so it's not all on me. It's not all on my shoulders. I know all the other guys want to win it as well, so we're going to go out there as a team and, try to fulfill that, commitment that we set forward to when we first came here to UTSA.
Back in the middle, right here to Chris.
Frank, reading about your off season, I was kind of blown away by the story and how you told Coach you were done. Have you had a moment to kind of reflect on that and going from those lowest of lows to what could tomorrow night potentially be the highest of highs?
Yeah, it's kind of, you're so busy, during the season to kind of sit back and reflect, but I think sometimes it just kind of hits me out of nowhere. Like, I'm actually out here playing football, doing something that I do love, and reflecting back to those dark times that I was going through, in the spring, not being able to walk, not being able to do anything for myself, my parents staying with me, stuff like that. So, my teammates and my coaching staff was there through that whole time, and they probably could tell you I was, a dark time in my life. I'm usually always smiling, playing around, but, during those times, I'm just sitting there sad, crying all the time, and it was just a dark time for me, honestly. And like I said, I told Coach I was done. He kind of was there through the whole process, telling me to stick it through. God has a plan for me, and like you said, God did have a plan for me. He does everything for a reason. I didn't understand it at that time, but I'm just fortunate enough to go out there and play the game that I love, and I just didn't think I would play this season. I didn't know if I'd be able to walk again, so just a testimony to God that I'm able to do what I love.
You want to follow up on that, Coach?
Yeah, and then to piggyback off of it, I can remember in May, he told me, he's like, "Coach, there's just no way." And I remember Dr. D being at practice, and he's like, "If y'all can just give me one more," he hadn't done surgery on him yet. He said, "If you'll just give me one chance on him, I think I can get that knee right." I said, "It's not gonna me. It ain't me. You got to convince. It ain't his dad. You got to convince. It all runs through his mama." I said, "So you better get to her if you think you're gonna pull this off." So we had a meeting, and he did a really good job presenting what he thought he could do for Frank. And I'm not sure she was all the way in, but probably Frank went home and talked her into being all the way in. And he performed the surgery, and we got him back about August. And then he hurts his shoulder a week before the Houston game, and then he hurts his toe in the Texas State game. And the kid is literally, I told him, if any of y'all ask him about his health, I was going to tell him, just tell the truth. You ain't been healthy since the 5th grade. You just go out there and do the best you can. So he's just and I'll brag on Rashad as well in another aspect. Last year Rashad was extremely distracted. A lot of people in his ear. He was never present. He was always worrying about something. And this year, he's been very intentional to be here. And Rashad's never been tough to coach, but it's been an absolute joy watching both these guys just appreciate every moment. They're old souls. They're old souls.
Back to the middle here to JJ in the middle.
For Frank and Rashad, Frank, you first. What do you think you're going to miss the most about playing for the Roadrunners?
Just the camaraderie with my teammates, being around those guys, the bond that we have in the locker room, not even just on the offensive end, just as a team as a whole. You got relationships with guys on defense, specialists, even the coaching staff. It's something that you just can't really explain until, it's all gone, and we're all gonna grow apart because we're all gonna move on with our lives. But just try to find a way to stay connected with one another, and just how football brought us so close together with one another, and the bonds that we had is gonna cherish forever for the rest of our lives. And it's just something that you really can't explain, and we're not gonna see each other probably mostly again for a very long time, because people are gonna move back home to the hometowns and start working and stuff like that. So I'm gonna miss everything about it, all UTSA as a whole, and I just gonna miss the administrators, everybody at UTSA, along with my teammates.
I think the thing I'm gonna miss most is bothering Frank in the morning. He's pretty grumpy in the morning, so I like to push his buttons a little bit. But just like Frank was saying though, just mess with our, being with our teammates. I feel like that's the thing I take the most out of all of this, just away from football, just talking about life. Just talking about a whole bunch of stuff with my guys. I've come to create some really tight bonds with some people, really hoping that we can continue to, talk later on in life. I think the thing I look forward to the most is just seeing where everybody ends up. Going to guys' weddings, trying to take trips with guys later on, being able to see people's kids and stuff like that. Like that's what I'm looking forward to the most, just life after football and seeing what everybody's doing, and just trying to stay connected. But definitely gonna miss being around everybody in the building, from the players, the coaches, the support staffs, and I'm just besides playing football and the things we do on a daily, just really talking and creating relationships with everybody in the building.
Jeff, there's a rumor floating around here that the winning coach is gonna get doused with some coffee after the game. Do you have a preference of coffee?
As Greg has mentioned, I've never won a bowl game, so I haven't even got that far ahead. But if we were so fortunate to be able to do that, I'm one of those kind of guys that, I have a little coffee with my cream. So not a black coffee guy for sure. It's gonna be sweet. So if it goes on my bald head, preferably something sweet so I can maybe enjoy the taste.
One more over here on the right, and then we'll open it up to the Zoom.
Frank and Rashad, you guys talked about how much you've accomplished here and how much your time at UTSA has meant to you. How do you go about managing the emotions within the game to make sure that doesn't become a factor or something that pulls you out of the moment?
I feel like that comes down to practice. I think there's a saying that we always talk about is that you sink to the level of your training. And I feel like that a part of that is just being intentional with your focus and where you're at, being where your feet are. Just going through this week of practice, that's kind of how you have to go about it. There can be a lot of distractions just from being here at the bowl, all the events, stuff like that. But regardless of that, we still have something that we're trying to go accomplish. And that's all that comes down to it, keeping the main thing, and being focused in the moment, being intentional with where our focus is at.
Yeah, I think it's similar to like a senior night, last time playing at the Alamo Dome, stuff like that. Having your family come out there on the field with you and just not trying to really think about that after you go out there and strap up and get ready for the game. And I feel it's similar to that aspect. The bowl stuff leading up to it, it's all fun, but once you suit up, it's time to play football, and you don't really think about those kind of things. Try to go out there, and everybody has one goal in common, and that's go out there and win.
Great, we'll open it up to the Zoom. Steve, if you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself and firing away, just let us know to whom you're asking the questions, please.
Steve Helwick, SB Nation. Hi, Frank. This is your last time throwing passes to Josh Cephas. So as a QB1 and receiver 1 in program history, describe how that connection's kind of developed over the years up until this point.
Yeah, it's just been a crazy journey because, I've been here since, I was here before he got here, so I kind of seen him grow as a player and as a person. And it's just incredible to see. I remember when I first started throwing him the ball, where it was his true freshman season. He came to me and he asked me if I trusted him, and I told him I didn't because he hasn't made any plays at the college level. And I remember we played against Baylor. I threw a bad pass and he went out there and snagged it. And I go up to him afterwards and I said, hey, I trust you now. So ever since then, his work ethic and everything that he's been doing as a player and as a person, seeing him grow, all the success he's been having doesn't surprise me none. And I'm just so happy for him, and I'm just blessed to go out there and be his quarterback.
Any other questions on the Zoom? What about in the room? Last call. Oh, yes, Jeff, again, please.
Jeff, how does the outcome of this game impact what the next few months are like? What is the difference going into an off-season off a win versus if you are looking at 2 straight losses to close the year?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, we talked about we don't talk about winning and losing very much, but we actually did discuss it as a team. We had so many difficult losses this year that really just bothered us. The way we finished against Tulane just left a really bad taste in our mouth. Nothing against Willie, they deserved it. They played really well, and we turned the ball over, uncharacteristically high for us. So that's a bad taste, and it'd be a long off season if we were to go out. If we play well and we don't win, that's one thing, and that happens sometimes. But we want to play well, and if we do that, the win and losing will take care of itself. But I think 9-4, first bowl win in the history of the school, going 7-1 in the AAC, your very first time in the conference, there's a lot of momentum there. 8-5 and losing your last 2, well, that just kind of sounds like some just straight black coffee with no cream in it at all. No sweetener, right?
Alrighty. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Good
Thank
luck
y'all.
tomorrow
Appreciate
night.
y'all.
Appreciate the time. We get 15 minutes back.